take the lead in what needs to happen, in what we need. I am the chairperson for the Florida Immigrant Coalition, which I joined after seeing many, many families torn apart in my community through the work that I do with the Redlands Christian Migrant Association, which we directly work with families of farm workers. And many times I see them being demonized in the media, that those people, those are criminals. They're not. They are families that are here to work and to contribute. And it's day in and day out that we see families torn apart. As an older person, I see kids like Nancy, who I know that back in the day I used to say, you guys focus in your studies. By the time you graduate, we will have something in place for you to continue your education. And I really feel like I have failed them, because we are still talking about the same thing that needs to be done. So we really cannot keep waiting for, I don't know what it is that we've been waiting for, because the time is here. We need to do it now. And we need to do it comprehensively so that we can include all those people that have contributed. They're not here taking anything from anyone. If there are criminals, we will be the first ones to help you get rid of them. We live in the communities and we know who is who and who does what. But for the vast majority of these families, they're families, and they are here to do just exactly what I have done. Raise my children, and we want them to be contributors. And these families are not asking for anything more. They just want the opportunity to feel safe. I see these mothers day in and day out coming and leaving their children with us and not knowing they're going to come back to pick them up, because they don't know down the road there's going to be a traffic stop, and then immediately leads them into deportation. We have many families that have been torn apart, and I don't think that's American. I don't know what's happening. So I just call on everyone. And then also, sometimes it's like, well, you know, but that's not our problem. Economically, we really need to be looking at that as well. And I know that we are all very concerned with homeland security, and I am too. But I think that homeland security needs to start with our food. Where do we want our food produced? I would rather eat Plant City grown strawberries, where we know how they are grown with all the regulations in place, so that we are going to be safe, versus importing our food from somewhere else that God knows how they are grown. So, you know, if it is not for the right reasons, at least for that, for our own selfish self, so that we can keep eating healthy food. Thank you.
That was outstanding. I want to thank them again very much for being here. Now, here's the call to action. Okay, what is happening in the United States Congress right now? Legislation is being drafted to create a path to citizenship. The first step has been the drafting of principles. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus has taken the lead on these principles, and I think many would be surprised by the detail in these principles and the content. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights of the principles, because they will become the foundation for many of the bills that will be drafted. America has always been a nation of immigrants. In order to preserve our history, our national identity, and culture, we must create a modern 21st century legal immigration system that reflects our legacy. Therefore, we commit to fighting for principled, comprehensive immigration reform that, one, requires the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. to register with the federal government, submit to fingerprinting and criminal background checks, learn English and American civics, and pay taxes to contribute fully and legally to our economy, and earn a path to permanent residency and eventual citizenship. 2, protects the unity and sanctity of the family, including the families of all backgrounds, by reducing the family backlogs and keeping spouses, parents, and children together. 3, attracts the best and the brightest investors, innovators, and skilled professionals, including including those in science, technology, engineering, and math studies, to help strengthen our economy, create jobs, and build a brighter future for all Americans. 4, builds on the extraordinary success of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, and incorporates the dreamers, those who are brought to the United States at a young age and are Americans, but for a piece of paper. Brings them into the mainstream of life in the United States through a path to citizenship, so America benefits from their scholastic achievements like Nancy, military service, and pursuit of their dreams. Includes a balanced, workable solution for the agriculture industry. 6, ends exploitation of U.S. immigrant workers. 7, ensures smart and reasonable enforcement that protects our borders. 8, establishes a workable employment verification system. And 9, renews our commitment to citizenship to ensure all workers pay their fair share of taxes, fully integrate into our way of life, and bear the same responsibilities as all Americans. See, our immigration laws ought to reflect both our interests and our values as Americans. And we believe these principles are consistent with our nation's principles. So as we negotiate on behalf of Americans in good faith with both parties and all stakeholders in the immigration reform debate, we need all of you to be part of this push for a pathway to citizenship. No podemos esperar. We cannot wait. Necesitamos cambios ahora. We need change then. We must ensure that the American dream endures. And to do that, I call upon all of you to join our effort on behalf of Americans and those who share the American dream. Thank you very much.